しまいました。だから、スバルくんのせいです。ゴロゴロゴロゴロゴロゴロゴロゴロゴロ。
What is going on, YouTube? It is Squids. As you can probably already tell from the title of this video and how I'm reacting, I just watched 5 centimeters apart, and yeah, that's pretty much to summarize the whole movie, or 3 episodes, whatever you want to call it. Is I honestly like. We're gonna get into this now because if I don't, I'm gonna go because I just watched the film. First thoughts were I expected to walk into this movie and be sad. I know I'm kind of a sadist because I like watching sad animes and stuff. That freaking love that stuff. But the thing is it's one of the most accurate but true portrayals of real life, honestly. The first act is essentially our main character and this girl that he's interested in, or not interested in, I guess they like each other. So it's like it starts in elementary, and I guess they're kind of loners, and they got along together, and they're always in the library and everything, and people would always tease them about it. And I guess every single one of these arcs kind of has like a little theme / plot to it. The first one kind of sets up the whole, like the name of the show and everything. It has to do one day, this is the intro I guess technically, but one day they are walking home and they pass the cherry tree, and she goes, do you know that cherry blossoms, sakura blossoms, fall 5 centimeters per second? And you know, it's just kind of a little thing that just sits there and you don't really think about it too much, but it's important later on to kind of remember that. But we find out that she's moving away at the end of the school year, kind of last minute, and he feels really bad about it because he couldn't think of anything to say to her. So she leaves and everything, and while this is all kind of like the side, like the backstory plots going on the other side of the event, you have him riding a train actually to go visit her, and at this point it kind of skips up to when they're like 13 years old, and it's quite a jaunt to get to her on this train. I think, if I remember correctly, it was like a 4-hour train, maybe. But it's snowing that day, coincidentally, and they were going to meet at the train station at 7 o'clock. And while this is all going on, he's talking about how he's kept every single letter that she has given him over the years. And while that's all going on, there ends up being weather delays at every single train stop because of all the snow that they're getting. And it gets to be to the point where he doesn't make it to the destination until, I believe, I want to say like 11:52 at night. So he's like almost 5 hours late, and he's like, please be home, don't be here. But it turns out she waited for him, and she has all his food and everything, and they meet up, and he eats at the train station, and they have to leave because this train station is closing down. So they go to this farmer's, like, it's not a house but like a shed, and they stay the night, and then they do end up kissing before he leaves. And that's pretty much end of the first part, which you're like, okay, so this is a setup, which leads us to the next chapter. This is towards the end of high school, so you know, you're going from 13 to 18 years old, so like a 5-year gap. And he doesn't really talk to her that much anymore. I mean, they write letters here and there from what you can tell, but it's not like consistent like it seems like it used to be in the past. There's this other girl that kind of is the main plot of the chapter of it. She's interested in him, and she doesn't exactly know what she wants to do with her life at this point. So, but she does know she likes him. So there's that. Gosh, pretty much what goes on is she's pretty much monologuing everything. Her sister taught her surfing, but she hasn't been able to ride a wave. She can't admit her feelings to the guy, and she doesn't know what she wants to do with her career in her life. While that's going on, our main character is like kind of like texting. I think texting, but like at the same time, he's writing these messages to try to tell her, but he never has the courage to send them, which is kind of like a big thing. You know what I mean? Like the big major vibes of this whole movie short. And later on, she doesn't exactly decide what she wants to do, but her sister's like this big influence, and this pretty much she talks to the whole movie. And her older sister pretty much says she was just like her, and she decides that she just wants to take life one day at a time. She ends up being able to ride a wave that day too, and she's so confident, and she was gonna ask or tell him that she likes him. And they end up usually going to the gas station every day after school, just kind of friends going to the gas station, like you do in high school. And we get there, and she chickens out because she realizes, she doesn't verbally say it to him like ever, whatever. But while they're walking from the gas station to their house, because her moped ends up dying because of the bad spark plug. So they get to the walk, and earlier in the episode, they were heading to the house, and there was a train going by with a rocket, which was supposed to go to the outer solar system area. And well, this is back to the current part of the episode. They're walking, and it's like a mental monologue where she's like, this dude's way too nice. He decides to walk me home. He talks to me, he does all these things with me and for me, and he's just a really nice guy, really smart. And while the rocket's flying by to the end of the out of the atmosphere, she's like, but that's just it. Whenever he's talking to me, he's somewhere else, not here. And that's pretty much where she leaves it. And I guess she cries all night to go to sleep. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's from both ends of the spectrum. You've got him too afraid to say what he feels like he needs to say to the girl that he's loved for years now, and the girl that's interested in him is too chicken to say how she feels, because she feels like he's already occupied and all that fun stuff. So that's an interesting chapter too. But then the final chapter, which is it's an oof one. They're adults now, 23-ish years old, I want to say, because he's done with college and everything. He's living in Tokyo, and you find out that he has a girlfriend at the moment that he doesn't really like. He hates his job. He hates everything. He hasn't talked to the girl in years, from what you can assume. You get her point of view as well, and she's at her parents', and I guess she's riding into Tokyo because she's getting married at the end of the month to another man. And it's pretty sad, tragic, after all that. That's like some of the realest things ever, I did forget to mention that little detail that in the beginning. His parents have jobs where they have to move a lot, and that's why once she moved, he moved too, and they kept getting further apart. So not only as like a metaphor, but physically as well, they kept moving apart from each other. And it's crazy, so there's that going on, and he's kind of just like going on with life, like I've been doing this for years, and it's ruining my mental health. He drinks a lot, he smokes a lot, from what we can insinuate, and he gets to the point where it's like, they were always looking for each other, and like any area they could go, they are always looking for each other, but they never ran into each other because they never reached out, and they're far apart. And it's like, oh my gosh, because at the beginning of the episode, it shows him walking across like the same trains that are in the very first chapter, and like he looks back because it's her, it's freaking her. But then the episode starts and it talks about everything that was going on and everything, and the whole time we know she's getting married. She's got the ring. She's talking about it, and she's kind of happy about it, you know. And the end of the episode happens. He quits his job because he's just not happy with it. He finally decides to do a turn in his life, you know, but he's still not going to reach out to her. And from what we can insinuate too, I think he's breaking up with his girlfriend or getting there at that point. Because she reaches out to him and he doesn't really answer, and so we get to the end there and we get to the train station scene again, and the trains pass by and she's gone. The one time they actually seen each other, it's too late. It hit hard. What else could I say about it? I didn't do the justice, but the soundtrack for that was phenomenal, especially the outro track. It was insane. If anything, watch it for that. It had, I think it came out in 2007, 2008, and it had superb animation, even for nowadays' standards, in my opinion. And then on top of it, you've got The Author for Your Name and Weathering with You, which are also great films. Animation and music-wise, he's just a great director and screenwriter. And it's I can understand why people dislike it so much, because it's not like a Ghibli film where it's like a decently happy ending. But this, or even like a Silent Voice, which isn't his film, but you know, just like that. But this wasn't happy. This was real, and there's not much else to say about it. It was just a real movie, and that's what I love about it. I'm not a big Ghibli guy. I mean, I've seen all the movies for the most part. I'm not saying they're bad. But yeah, this time. Anyways, I'm not saying they're bad. They're just not my preferred style. And I like realism and sadness, like I said. And that was about as real as it gets in life, you know. People drift apart, and if you don't keep intact, even with as hard as daily life is to do it, you're just gonna separate, and that's just how it's gonna be. I love this. Like I said, you know, in my opinion, if you haven't watched it, go give it a watch. Out of 10 ml, I'm going to give this more than likely a 9. And I only have, I have like 20 out of like 300 some. 400 some? But it doesn't really freaking matter. But I don't have many 9s, and I only have like 3 10s. So this is going right up there on the trophy case. Top shelf. So yeah, that's it. I'll be back soon to give you guys another video. Take care, have a good one, and if you enjoyed it, give it a like, subscribe if you want to, and have a good day. Peace.